Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the co-op presentation for the amazing Future Raven Family Night session that we're having tonight. My name is Jalil. I'm joined with my amazing colleague, Caitlin McGregor from the co-op department. And hopefully we're going to give you more information all about Carleton University, Canada's capital university here in Ottawa, the nation's capital, on the traditional and unceded territories of the Algonquin Nation here in Ottawa. And of course, we want to make sure that all of our students can definitely feel welcomed and thrive in this incredible campus. And hopefully you can learn one dimension of that through the co-op department. So as we're going through this, everyone, if you have any questions, please put them in the Q&A that is separate from the chat. Just to organize the questions, please put them in the Q&A on your right-hand side. And without further ado, we have Caitlin McGregor talking to you. Thank you, Caitlin.
Thank you for that introduction, Jalil. Hello, everybody. Thanks, guys, for joining us at Family Night and for taking time to attend this particular session. So this is about employability in your degree at Carleton. And as Jalil mentioned, questions, add them to the chat, and I will do my best to address them at the very end. You can also join me in the cooperative education booth after this. Okay, so we'll get started and talk about me. Okay, there's a giant photo of me. I'm always surprised at how big that is. Guys, there's my email, caitlin.mcgregor@carleton.ca. Email any questions you have. I'm happy to answer them. Always love talking to prospective students and their families. Today's agenda is going to go through the following. Little bit about the employability framework, what you're all here to really find out about, I'm sure, co-op education, the advantages of Carleton's co-op program, because you shouldn't even be considering anything else. Where students can work, career services offerings, getting experience in meeting employers, and finally, we're going to save a bit more time for questions because I talked too long last time and we ran out of time. So I'll keep this fairly short. The employability framework, what is it? We want students to graduate with some key skills, and those skills are as follows: including but not limited to research skills, collaboration, leadership, communication, professionalism, digital literacy. And we find there's 4 different areas where students are going to get those skills. The first one's obvious, and that's curricular, meaning in the classroom. And for those of you who attended the open house event last month, you probably had the opportunity to talk to some faculty members about what they're teaching and about the connections that they're making in the classroom to the real world. So I won't comment too much on that, but I'll talk to you folks about the co-curricular opportunities, in particular cooperative education, and what career services offers through its service delivery. So things like career counseling, resume help, how to prepare for an interview. So services that are really tailored to you, the student, as an individual. And finally, employer connections. Carleton prides itself on having great connections with employers in the Ottawa area, and we frequently have career fairs, networking nights, alumni mentorship programs, all sorts of ways for students to get to know and network, some really big shot employers in the area. So what is cooperative education? So I'm a little bit biased. This presentation focuses a lot on co-op, but I think there's a strong interest in it. Co-op is basically an integrated learning program. So it's where students combine terms of full-time study with terms of full-time work. So when I say full-time work, I mean 3 or 4 mandatory work terms, depending on what your program is, that are 4 months each. So a substantial commitment to adding about a year's worth of time to your degree to gain work experience in your field. So that work experience is full-time and it's paid quite well. And along the way, you're certainly not on your own. You get support from the co-op staff. Right from the beginning, we train you to go out in the world of work with a preparatory course. We offer students the opportunity to review cover letters, to learn how to write, a resume that's really tailored to a specific job. You guys get, matched up with a faculty advisor who's there to help. So it's a really, really great way of, integrating what you're learning and getting that work experience before you even graduate. So what are the advantages of Carleton's specific co-op program? I didn't mention, I should have, that we're actually the third largest program in the province of Ontario, if you can believe it. And when I say choice, we have over 100 programs programs with a certain stream or concentration that offer the co-op option. So that is really, really great to know, because it likely means that something you're applying to has the ability for you to participate in co-op. Being in Ottawa is really, really key, especially if you're looking for work in the federal government or in the high-tech sector, because Ottawa, of course, is home to both, literally both up the street, and you can't ask for better than that. We've got employers that are hungry for talent, and they recruit at Carleton time after time again. So you can't miss out on that. We offer longer work terms. Oh, Jalil, I'll just have you go back to that one slide. Longer work terms, sometimes as long as 16 months, depending on the program. So you can really dive deep into what you're doing in the world of work. And we have an extensive employer database. Over 5,000 employers, recruit Carleton students. And that database and the job board is exclusive to Carleton students. Exclusive to Carleton co-op students, I should say. So it's a real privilege to be part of that program. Oh, and select the co-op option, guys, when you apply. When you submit your application through UAC, if you apply to a degree at Carleton, select co-op. It doesn't force you to partake in the program. It just says that you're interested, and it triggers basically a message to our office to assess you for admission once you've spent a year or two at Carleton. Okay, co-op option. It's the way to go. So where can students work? In the interest of time, I will not read all of these off, but I selected just 3 programs and some of the most popular employers that hire. So you can see here the array of employment opportunities available to Bachelor of Engineering students, for example, Bachelor of Commerce students, and Bachelor of Computer Science students. And really, I don't have an hour to talk to you guys, so this is all I could put up, but it gives you a taste for sure. So co-op is a really competitive program. It requires a large time investment. As I said, it does add a year to your program generally. So if you're not interested in co-op or you don't think it's for you, that's totally okay. I want to stress that Career Services, which is Co-op's sister office, provides help to every single undergraduate and graduate student, whether they're involved in co-op or not. So that's where anybody can take a resume, cover letter, or LinkedIn profile to get reviewed, get help with job searches, learn how to network, do some interview practice, how to prepare, talk about career options within your degree. And this is really important, guys, especially if you're a BA student, a prospective BA student. Chances are you might end up changing your major. You might want to add a minor. There's so many possibilities. Career Services can talk to you about what that means to change your program of study partway through your degree. And here's not a secret. Lots of people do it. The majority of people do it. So don't feel weird when it happens to you. So next slide. Finally, this is the last one, then we'll move on to some questions. A few more things offered by Career Services. They have an awesome internship program that is for academic credit. It's not paid, but it's amazing international work experience, and students can qualify for a $2,500 bursary to help with expenses. There's the Act to Employ program that stands for Accessible Career Transitions. That's for students with disabilities to get help in finding work. There's a great job shadow program. We have a lot of excellent mentors that students can line themselves up with to find out about what they do, what their days are like. We have a work study program for students interested in working part-time on campus. If they are an OSAP recipient, they may qualify for that program. And then finally, meeting our employers. We're really, really big on bringing people to campus. So we've got recruitment sessions, at least 3 career fairs a year attended by over 50 employers. We offer networking events, and of course, we feature jobs on the career website that are open to everybody. So I tried to keep that one a little bit shorter. I think I succeeded, Jalil. I'm very happy with myself. So we're going to move on to questions. What's the difference between an internship and co-op? What a good question, because nobody understands this unless they're told. The terms are not interchangeable. An internship is typically an unpaid experience, and it usually counts in university anyway for academic credit. So an internship might be an optional part of your program, or like social work, for example, it's a mandatory part of your program. It all depends on how it's structured, but it's unpaid, whereas co-op is fully paid. And it's an optional addition to your program, whereas an internship is sometimes required depending on what you're studying. Okay, so paid versus unpaid. Neuroscience and mental health program have co-op opportunities, and if so, will they be accessible to me even if I refuse the co-op option? Oh, great question. Yes and yes. So neuroscience and mental health, that does definitely have a cooperative education option. I didn't tell you guys this. You can also apply to co-op while you are in your degree at Carleton. We just encourage students to do it on the OAC application because it's a little bit cleaner and you get into our system right away. I won't bore you with the administrative details because it's not interesting. But if you don't apply to co-op and you say, hey, I'm in second year, I should really do this, you can fill out a manual application. It's no big deal. Would co-op be offered to environmental-esque courses? So when you say courses, I assume you mean an undergrad program like environmental studies or geography. Those both have the cooperative education option, absolutely. And of course, that's a very hot area of study these days. Oh, co-op and a practicum. A practicum, these are really good questions. Practicum is a built-in mandatory part of a program. It's not paid. It's kind of like an internship. Practicum, internship, field placement, they're kind of all the same thing. They're for academic credit. You don't get any money, but you get great experience. How do I choose co-op for criminology and criminal justice? Okay, that is one of the few programs that does not have a co-op option, but I will tell you something, they have an excellent field placement opportunity. So there's definitely experiential learning involved in crim. Don't want to turn you off crim, but it doesn't technically have a cooperative education option, one of the few. Do you have to be bilingual? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. In fact, that's a great question. A lot of people like myself who are, more or less unilingual would be a little intimidated applying for government jobs. You'll find a lot of them that are posted for university type students. The French requirement is not as in your face as it would be for a full-time continuing job. So some knowledge of French is always good, but it's not essential. And it's definitely not essential for non-government work. Would co-op be offered for Bachelor of Arts courses such as psychology? Yep. So the BA psychology program has a very strong co-op option. Yes, it does. And it's all on our website too, guys, to check out which programs offer it as well. What percentage of students get exposure to a co-op program? Okay, Catherine, I am assuming you mean get hired successfully as a co-op student. Great question. Our success rates are really, really good. Crazy things like the pandemic aside, we usually have close to an 80% success rate in the summer terms because there's a huge amount of competition in the summer, and even higher success rates in the fall and winter. Having said that, co-op is not a placement program. We don't match students with jobs. We don't give them jobs. We have them apply and compete and participate that way. So it's up to them to really be a successful candidate, do their homework, give a good interview, be a professional, and land that job. But if they put in the work, typically they'll be successful. Yes. International experiences. Yes, there are. At the moment, however, that is a bit of I can answer that question only vaguely because of the pandemic. Carleton University at the moment is not in a position to endorse international travel quite yet, but that is changing by the minute. So as of last summer, there were not international co-op placements advertised. But if an international student from, say, Saudi Arabia was living in Saudi Arabia and found a job that was co-op appropriate, that student could do co-op last summer. But you couldn't intentionally go to another country. All that's changing. I recommend you ask that question literally in another few months. What are some placements for aerospace engineering? Bombardier is a huge company. If you want to send me an email afterwards to that address I listed, I can give you some sample employers for that specific program. but I know Bombardier comes to mind. When does co-op take place during our time at university? Is it all at once or split throughout the years? Okay, excellent. It depends on your program. Some programs are split up, so you might be studying, work, back studying, work again, back studying, whereas other do these consecutive 12 or 16-month placements. The work-study pattern is developed in advance, and it's developed with heavy influence from the faculty. So the faculty are the best ones to say, these are the semesters we want students in classes learning. These are the semesters where they are free to go out and work. So it all depends on the program, and it depends at what point you've been admitted. But again, that's a question I'd be happy to answer more fully later. Paleontology. Okay, Ashlyn, you're getting super specific there. Paleontology might be a stream or a concentration within a specific science degree, but it's not its own program. So there isn't a paleontology co-op offered, I'm afraid. Sorry about that. 6:36, we are still on time. Hey, awesome. All right.
Thanks everyone for all your questions. So sorry about the time, just to be on time with all the different presentations and to have time for everyone to transfer over. These were all the questions that we had right now at the moment. But Caitlin and Nicolette are going to be available in the session booth for the co-op. So once you exit this session and you go into the booth area, you should be able to go into the booth for co-op, and then you can ask more detailed questions with Caitlin and Nicolette for the duration of tonight's event. But thank you so much for sticking with us for this presentation. Thank you again, Caitlin and Nicolette, for being here and giving this expertise information. So without further ado, everyone, enjoy the rest of your event. Thanks so much for coming, and we hope to see you at CU in the near future. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jalil. Thanks, everybody. Take care.